One of the saddest aspects of the reaction to this report was the way in which some politicians, head teachers and commentators slammed it so quickly. It was blatantly obvious that they could not possibly have read the report. Since the report identifies family circumstance as being a far more important factor in a young person's development than his or her ethnicity, it is therefore a logical conclusion that for some of our most deprived children, the extended school day could bring many benefits. Many issues of inequality are caused by factors other than racism, by family circumstance, socio-economic background, geography, or the degree of integration. It's therefore wrong, not to say dangerous, to glibly ascribe all issues to racism or to white privilege. Poverty, underachievement, deprivation apply to groups within the white majority just as much, and in some cases even more, than to ethnic minorities. Strong early years support, good schools and evidence-based interventions can improve educational outcomes across all groups and partly overcome these other factors. Or put more prosaically, a rising tide really can raise all boats. What the report does do is to highlight the phenomenal optimism and success amongst so many groups in society. Why are those who slam this report so upset by the knowledge that in core GCSE subjects, white British pupils are outperformed by black African children, significantly so by Chinese and Indian children? Why don't we shout from the rooftops that proportionally more black African children and more black Caribbean children progress to university than white British pupils? And that disparity is even greater when we consider pupils on free school meals. Britain is far from perfect, but it has changed over the last 50 years. And for children of all backgrounds, it is categorically clear that education is the passport to a brighter future. Every child needs a disciplined and structured environment in which to grow, and that is especially true for children who have an unhappy home life. School must teach right from wrong, and that must include sanctioning those pupils who do wrong. The report repeats the line from the current Ofsted framework that exclusion is a vital tool for maintaining discipline in schools. Actually, children from ethnic minorities are less likely to be excluded from school. Chinese and Indian children are the least likely to be excluded. Now, of course, there remains a disproportionately high number of exclusions amongst black Caribbean children, though interestingly not amongst black African children. But as the 2019 Timpson Review of Exclusions reveals, there are wider factors behind exclusions other than ethnicity: SEND, poverty, family environment, and poor mental health. Like many schools, my approach to behaviour was to have a clear-cut behaviour policy. We did not permit violence, theft, or rudeness. And we excluded pupils who hit other pupils, who stole something, or who were rude to teachers. Ethnicity had nothing to do with it. The report quite rightly dismisses negative attempts to decolonise the curriculum, which is both academically suspect and also positively damaging to social cohesion. Living in Britain and being British are the two things that unite us all, so it's essential that youngsters understand the society in which they live. No, that doesn't mean we stop teaching about the slave trade, the First Passage, the Middle Passage, and the wickedness that was the practice of slavery. But we add to that traditional curriculum the much more positive making of modern Britain, and show how the Commonwealth and local communities influenced what we now know as modern Britain. Equally interestingly, the report also calls for more emphasis to be placed on traineeships and on apprenticeships. For far too long, the 40% plus of the population which fails to get good GCSEs has almost been ignored. Quality vocational education will help far more to achieve and to be successful in life. It's crucial that we attract and retain the best teachers and leaders in our schools. They must be appointed on the grounds of merit and ability, because to appoint on any other grounds is simply to disadvantage all pupils. We must also attract more teachers from ethnic minorities, not least because, of course, good role models are so important. But this situation is improving. The report states that 86% of teachers are white, 14% from ethnic minority backgrounds, and those figures are not far different from the findings of the 2011 census. Less encouraging, however, is the situation with governance, as only 6% of governors are non-white, so schools clearly need to do much more to attract governors from the communities which they serve.